we are very we are very welcoming people. Yeah, that's why when our mothers cook, they
Yeah.
will make sure that when they cook, they cook enough food for in case the visitor come, the visitor has something to eat. You don't have to make in call first so that you come to the house.
Are you picking on Kenyans?
I'm just saying who we are as a society.
All right.
You'll be shocked that that even people the South Sudanese who might be even lighter than you.
Lighter than me?
Yes. Interesting, lighter than you.
Okay. I like where this is going. Continue.
The South Sudan who are lighter than you.
Yes.
And also, I think I'm also a great example that South Sudanese are not always 7 foot. Because yes,
So South Sudan is known to be, many people when they hear about South Sudan, I would say they think about two things or three things. Yeah, a dry place, tall dark people, and a place that has been ravaged by war. But today we have an opportunity for all that to be demystified. All right, we have a guest in studio. He's going to be talking to us about South Sudan, but particularly doing business in South Sudan, because this is dreams in motion. And I believe that every entrepreneur's dream, when you're starting your own business, you think about scaling it to new markets and seeking new customers and new opportunities. And South Sudan might be the place you as an entrepreneur you might want to venture into. So this country has about a population of 11 million people thereabout, and that is a great market share that you would want to get into. So that is what we're going to be talking about in this conversation. It's dreams in motion. Remember, if you've already made a million, probably this is not for you. But if you are on your journey of making your first million, then you have to listen. And as you're listening and watching, do this: comment, share, and leave a like for us. It helps with the algorithm to make sure that the channel gets shared and shown to new people and new faces as we continue to grow as well. Without further ado, I will now link in my guest to allow him introduce himself.
okay. My name is Danhier Yien.
Yes.
And as Alan said, I come from the great land of South Sudan, to where we call the land of great abandon.
Yes.
Abandon meaning, as you said, in a interestingly, Alan, you'll be shocked that South Sudan is higher. It's actually bigger than Kenya by almost 100,000 square kilometers.
How is that even possible? You just got off a different country, yeah? How would you have bigger landmass than Kenya?
Well, that is we got a very good deal after we broke away from.
I like how you're putting it. You got a very good deal,
Yes.
and we're talking about entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
It's about brokering
Exactly.
deals. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, as you said, in a country where we have a population of 11 million people,
Yeah.
and a landmass of almost 600,000, that means there are limitless opportunities that you who is in the entrepreneurial space
Yeah.
can actually utilize. And given that we are transitioning,
Yeah.
from the traditional economics to the modern economics,
Yeah.
as I feel you as an investor looking to go to South Sudan, you can actually benefit
Yeah.
from there. That is in terms of the transitioning, we need like right now,
Yeah.
we need a housing. Like it's the housing in South Sudan is a big issue,
Yeah.
because as a young nation, we don't have maybe the capital to build the infrastructure. But if we can have people who can investors who can actually take the opportunity there and provide cheap housing
solutions,
you will actually make your million before even the night begins.
I like the idea of making your million before the night ends. A quick one. If we were in South Sudan right now, we are having this conversation in South Sudan, what would we be looking at? What would be the environment? What would be the feel?
Well, the South Sudanese are very interesting people. if you go to Juba today, you'll be shocked that people are sitting in a mango tree or in any other tree drinking tea. But you look at the weather, you'll be like, are these people crazy? Because the weather is like smoking hot. And then people are taking cup of tea and making stories there and there. And also you'll also be made with a diverse culture. Well, we have around 64 cultures, 64 different communities. That mean a large diversity.
There is a huge diversity.
And you'll also be made with some we are very welcoming people. That's why when our mothers cook, they will make sure that when they cook, they cook enough food for in case the visitor come, the visitor has something to eat. You don't have to make in cold first so that you come to the house.
Are you picking on Kenyans?
I'm just saying who we are as a society.
All right. I'm not gonna put words in your mouth. A quick. A follow-up question. There are things that are known for South Sudanese people. One, the aspect that you've also hinted about it, that it's very hot, and also that the people are very tall. All of this. Could you demystify some of the misconceptions that you've had, that people have about South Sudanese? Because I ask this question because even as you're looking at, as an entrepreneur, you're looking into moving into a place, then you must understand the demographics of that particular place.
Yeah. Okay. Interestingly, then, you'll be shocked that even people, the South Sudanese who might be even lighter than you.
Lighter than me?
Yes. Interesting, lighter than you.
Okay. I like where this is going. Continue.
The South Sudanese who are lighter than you.
Yes.
And also, I think I'm also a great example that South Sudanese are not always 7 foot. Because yes, I'm a true manifestation of the fact that we are not always tall. We are just that sometimes the majority of the people that you interacted with they're tall. Yes. And maybe from the Dinka community or the Nuer community. They're very tall, but you'll be shocked that we also have some tribes, especially along the central Equatoria. That's where our capital is actually based, in Juba. The indigenous there are averagely short there about, though not like Kenyans, but they're somewhere. Yes.
I say this is going to be a South Sudan-Kenya war from the beginning until the end. Now, let us launch into the entrepreneurial journey in South Sudan. Before we even talk about people from the East African community, the likes of Uganda, the likes of Kenya, and the likes of the Democratic Republic of Congo coming doing business into South Sudan, particularly Juba. How does the economical landscape look like? Because 11 years, I don't think that it is enough for a nation to build its economical ecosystems to support entrepreneurship. How is the landscape thus far?
Well, Alan has used, as a young country, I always tell people, where there is freshness, there are always opportunities. So South Sudan, I can tell people, despite the media outbursts, I would actually say that South Sudan is not as many people paint it. It's a very people's country. Contrary to what we see, it's just that sometimes we because of the liberation struggle, the transitioning period, but I believe that as a nation we are getting there, and we shall be where we are. But in terms of the business, I would say it's a very lucrative place, because as you can see, a country where we are just from a civil war. We have so many humanitarian
organizations that are
there. So that also means opportunities for business, because these humanitarian services, they also need offices. Some of them need personnel. So that's why you see so many East African moving to South Sudan because of such opportunities. So basically, anybody who want to go to South Sudan, I feel like there's untapped resources that you can actually, but our only problem is you have to make sure that you're able to live in peace with the South Sudan, because we have very strict rules. That is in terms of our culture and in terms of how you relate with women. Because you see, other than you'll be shocked to learn that it can also cost you over 500 cow to marry a South Sudanese woman.
500 cows.
Yes, that's almost 20
Am
million.
I going to start a farm? But anyway, that's their culture, all right? But if I land in South Sudan right now and say I have 5,000 US dollars, what would, from your own perspective, what ventures would I go into?
Well,
For
$5,000.
$5,000 for a South Sudanese, that's spare change. Because South Sudanese also are known for living large. Yeah.
I will not talk about that. but with 5,000 US dollar, you are
Yes.
able. I think you can make a lot of opportunities because, as I can say, it, we have a problem with the food distribution.
Yeah.
The distribution network. If you can able to have a wholesale in South Sudan with that 5,000, as I told you earlier,
Yeah.
you can actually make your money within a fortnight and you have good returns because we are like right now as a country where we don't manufacture everything, we import almost everything. So as somebody who can study who can do who can do the studies and research well,
Yeah.
you can actually benefit from the opportunities. And I told you, as a young country, there's so many opportunities that you can actually do. With your 5 million, you can venture into business, into hotel business,
Yeah.
into wholesale businesses, also shifting company like logistics. You can be actually be productive as we start.
Interesting. How is the banking sector in South Sudan? Does it still rely on banks that are coming from outside South Sudan, or are there banks that native banks that have sprung up to support the development of the economy?
Well, actually, for the banking industry, I think majority of the banking industries are from. We have Kenya.
Yeah.
We have. I think the KCB should. It's actually among one of the more functional there. I think we also have Stanbic. Right now, I don't think we might have the capacity, but we are working. It's building a nation is a journey.
Yeah.
I believe that in the coming few years we might get there. But banking industry is very functional, though we are still getting used to it.
Yeah.
But I believe in the next few coming years and an enabling environment, we can be able to build the country together.
Yeah. And probably I might be launching into a place that might bring in a bit of emotions and flashbacks that might be unpleasant. With war comes destruction. And this destruction most of the time is met with destruction of infrastructure. How is infrastructure like in South Sudan? For instance, when you talk about roads, when you talk about hospitals, when you talk about schools, because if you're gonna set up a company in a place, then you must think about, okay, the people that I'm going to hire, where are they going to get the services that they need? And when we talk about services, if I am to move to South Sudan right now and I have a family, I will have to ask myself, where are my kids going to go to school? In case I fall ill, where am I going to get medication? And if I need to move from one place to the other, how is the road infrastructure? Would you paint a picture for us of how that looks like?
Well, I will not say we are anywhere near the world standard in terms of the road network and also in terms of the services. But as I said, that is still an opportunity where somebody can actually come and venture into it and develop. Like we have so much need in our medical space that if any investors who can actually venture into that. Also the education sector, we have good school actually. We have actually international school. Like we have the famous John Garang International School, where you actually most of the sons of diplomats and also the people who are working there, project managers from Kenya and other East African countries are actually there. In terms of school, you will not be the Kenyan standard, but for a nation that is 7-year-old, I think we might be getting there. But as I tell people, that's an opportunity where you can venture in and make sure that you come and offer those services because it's very there's so much to be done.
Yeah, there is the aspect of infrastructure, but also there is policies that governments put in place. How do the policies look like? Are there registrar of companies? Are there policies that the government says yes, you can do this or you cannot do this? I hear there is even a particular amount of money that you're supposed to give to a central bank of a country before you set up a bank in that particular country. How do these policies look like?
Yeah, well, we have actually we do have we are when it comes to businesses, I think we're being guided by the Company Act of 2012, which actually been managed by the ministers of Ministry of Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a functional government that is a functional space where
it has put all the systems in place.
Can be put in place, but there's still room for improvement. As
Yeah.
you said, is a human design.
You always find some errors.
Some errors to be
Yeah.
made. But in terms of your business registration, I can assure you will be safe.
Actually, that's where I was going to go. If I need to register a business, here in Nairobi, you need to part, I think, with around 10,000 to pay. If you want to register a company, if it's a business name, I think you spend around 2,000. How is it like in South Sudan?
Well, in South Sudan, as just like in Kenya, you're also, for you to start a business, you're also required to have especially the board of directors.
Yeah.
You also have to have a certain numbers of percentage in South Sudan.
Yeah.
So, as a country that is growing, we're not that
Advanced.
We're not that not we can't say advanced,
Yeah.
but we are not. But we are not that strict in terms of, because we also want people who can come and open opportunities for our people. So anybody who is reading, as long as you're able to abide by the law,
Yeah.
provide the right documentation, I believe you can conduct your business.
I like how you've put it that South Sudan, it has just put the systems in place, but also it is not going to be so strict on somebody who would want to set up shop, because I believe some entrepreneurs sometimes, when you go to start up a new business, for instance, I would say it as it is here in Kenya currently, if you're starting out, you'd find that you find yourself weighed down by a lot of taxes that you need to pay, and a lot of levies that you need to pay to start up a business. But if then in South Sudan, you could be allowed to start the business and things aren't so stringent, but then you are also, you can say that, or you can, I don't want to use the word promise because promises get broken. Yeah, you can abide by the laws of the land and make sure that you do not go outside the laws. I think that is a good way to look at it, so that you can pull in as many interested parties as possible to set up shop in your country. Okay, interesting. Then which would you say are the biggest brands in South Sudan?
So far, as a country that we have so many minerals, so you'll see most people are either in mining industry or petroleum. But because actually, I always tell people, I personally do not like to operate with where the government has interest in. Because
you don't mix your business with government.
With governments.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
But you can help them by building capacity in a different sector.
Yeah.
So as other people, as somebody who's starting up, I will not encourage somebody to go and start in the business, because if our leaders who were fighting for the struggle saw that it was wise for us to start with agriculture, why don't you take up that opportunity?
Yeah.
Because funny enough, as people think that South Sudan is dry, actually it's only Juba which is hot. You
Yeah.
go to places like Yei, and even like where I come, my state actually, it's always full of water. We even have a riverbed. So water is throughout.
Yeah.
Your animals are safe. Even our animals even die because of water.
Yeah.
Not because of
Not because of
grass.
drought.
Yes. It's actually is a land of limited possibility. But first we have to make sure we silence the guns.
Yeah.
And you also have to, as an entrepreneur, you have to take risks.
Yeah.
Because no risk, no reward.
No reward.
Yes.
Absolutely. We have sort of made this whole conversation about professional business, but there is also these informal businesses. Wase wa kuuza chapati, selling water, selling sweets. How does the sector of the informal businesses or small scale, let me not call them informal, let me call them small scale businesses, how does that landscape look like?
Well, actually, it's one of the thriving business in South Sudan, because you see, even day we are always in motion. So you get somebody selling water,
Yeah.
you take water. You get somebody selling chapati. You actually be interesting that most of the street vendors are actually Kenyan, and also people from
Uganda.
From Uganda.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like when I went to South Sudan in January, I actually stopped at the chapati that I ate actually coming from Kenya. I had some craving for it, so
Yeah.
I decided to eat. It was actually Ugandan food. It was very nice.
Yeah.
And we are very welcoming in it, and when it comes to food, it's something we will always eat.
Yeah.
Yes, because
Interesting. How do then the native people of South Sudan manage all these different demographics that come into their country? And I will use probably an example that might be relevant, but also might be irrelevant in the situation of South Sudan. When we look at what happens in South Africa most of the time, the xenophobia attacks. Would you find something similar happening in South Sudan, or there has been ways of how these intercultures get to correlate and properly do business?
Well, Alan, I don't think that is the case in South Sudan. Maybe, and that's maybe for in another extreme cases.
Yeah.
But as I told you, we are very welcoming people. And under our traditional culture,
Yeah.
we don't harm strangers. We don't harm even the enemy. In the event that you seek shelter in the house,
Yeah.
nobody should ever harm you. But to put your mind at ease, well, we are very we are very okay. We are very welcoming. Yes.
Yeah.
And also, the issue of majority of us, as you know, we have been in the majority of our leaders.
Yeah.
We have always been in the struggle for liberation.
Yeah.
So most of us, we live outside. Majority of us actually, we will actually live. Most of us live around Kenya. Some of us we have the refugee camp in Kakuma.
Yeah.
Some of us are there. We also have so many of us who are in Uganda. So along the way, along the entire freedom liberation struggle, we got to interact with different cultures. So whenever we see a Kenyan in South Sudan, we just see that as a brother.
Yeah.
We don't see anything more than somebody who's coming to take away a job.
Yeah.
But we also see them as somebody who can open up opportunities to us.
I think that is a very interesting way to look at it. What do you think I have not covered that somebody who is watching us right now should know about doing business in South Sudan?
Well, I don't think so. Alan, I don't. The only thing is just the misconception of war. That South Sudan is a volatile country.
Yeah.
Yes, you may go there, you see people moving around with a gun, but I feel like it's the right time now the government actually
starts recollecting some of
something
those
about
guns.
it's actually, especially some of the UN officials, and when they always are moving around, it's like you will be shocked.
Yeah.
Actually, people moving around with such heavy protection. But in actual sense, that's not even the case.
Yeah.
Just that it's just sometimes that perception. But I can tell you for a fact.
Yeah.
So Sudan, it's a peaceful country, and we are not always at war. It's just that sometimes there are some small differences.
Yeah.
And interestingly, as many people think, we always don't start wars.
Yeah.
But we finish them. Yes.
You don't start wars,
don't
but you
start
finish
war,
them.
but we will finish them.
Would you be at liberty commenting on what is happening in Sudan?
Well, whatever is happening in Sudan is a very unfortunate turn of events.
Yeah.
Especially in the way it actually affects us as a nation, because most of our people were even in Sudan. So when the war came, the influx of the refugees was so heavy for us, and also in a country where the road network is not developed, we are forced to use helicopters and to transport your loved one from the border to Juba. That's around $500. So you can imagine how many dollars you'll be paying for
a helicopter ride.
For that. So that one, the Sudan war has actually affected a lot of us, and as you know, we have been living with them side by side for over 50 years, 60 years that we have been fighting with them, and we are all also affected by it. So, but we are always feeling for calling for peace to prevail, because as people who participated in a struggle for liberation, we really felt sympathetic to the Sudanese people, and that maybe the leaders can find a common ground for peace to reign.
Absolutely, because business cannot thrive in chaos.
It can't.
Your closing remark.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it was a good time. As a South Sudanese myself, I always tell people, as also somebody who is interested in the entrepreneurial sector, and you'll be, if you are looking for job opportunities, and also our areas in which we collaborate, you can reach out to our channel, and we can see how we can, because I believe that just like the way Safaricom said, when we come together,
great things happen. Oh my goodness.
So with so much diversity and so much pocket, you put your 100 plus my 100, I believe we can make it 1 million, and with 1 million we are able to create so many opportunities for the many South Sudanese, and along the way we also develop friendship, and even at the end of the day everybody wins. Yes.
All right. I would not like to steal the mantra of Safaricom, but as he has put it, when people come together, great things happen. And I hope you've learned a thing or two from this conversation. Let us see you next Wednesday as we bring you another interesting conversation about entrepreneurship. Remember, you have to keep in motion.